Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. I really appreciate you. I'd also like to say thanks to my newest subscribers. You know who you are. I really appreciate you guys very much, and thank you. So tonight we're going to do something about, we're going to talk about Matt Gaetz. Now, Matt Gaetz is a representative of the United States Senate, and he's one of Donald Trump's lackeys. He was basically his personal hand puppet. His Flavor Flav to his Chuck D, you know, and anything that Trump wanted done or said or whatever, Matt Gaetz was there to lick his boot and make sure that, you know, he was carrying his torch. So recently, Matt Gaetz has been, I guess, fingered for trafficking in females, a 17-year-old female. So he's apparently been indicted, not indicted, but under investigation for quite some time, unbeknownst to him, for trafficking, sex trafficking. So he went on Tucker Carlson. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys some advice first. My first advice is if you are ever under any type of investigation, whether you know it or not, and then it's brought out that you are under an investigation, remember this. STFU, shut the fuck up. Because if you don't shut the fuck up, you're going to find yourself digging a bigger hole. Please remember to shut the fuck up, and you'll be just fine. You may not be just fine. You'll be fine as far as when you get into court proceedings and you have to answer questions as to your truthfulness. If you shut the fuck up and don't say shit, you'll be fine. Now back to the story. Matt Gaetz needs to learn how to shut the fuck up. So he goes on Tucker Carlson. God, I hate saying that guy's name. Tucker. And he says this.
I brought a friend of mine, you'll remember her, and she was actually threatened by the FBI, told that if she wouldn't cop to the fact that somehow I was involved in some pay-for-play scheme, that she could face trouble. And so I do believe that there are people at the Department of Justice who are trying to smear me.
So after he says that, I'm thinking to myself, dude, you didn't really answer the question. You talked about some extortion and somebody's trying to set you up, which it isn't true. The guy he's talking about has been out of the FBI or law enforcement for decades now and has nothing to do with anything as far as extortion when it comes to Matt Gaetz. So he's grasping at straws, obviously. But he's not knowing to shut the fuck up because now he's digging himself a hole. He's pulling a classic Trump move by not shutting up and just digging his hole deeper and deeper. So he goes back on, well, he stays on Tucker, and the next thing he says is this.
Again, I only know what I've read in the New York Times. I can say that actually you and I went to dinner about 2 years ago. Your wife was there. And
I don't remember the woman you're speaking of or the context at all.
So he tries to, I don't know, get Tucker to be an ally or an alibi or to corroborate a story with him in some dinner date with Tucker and his wife. But that went over like a lead balloon or a fart in church. It just didn't work well for him. It didn't play good at all. Tucker's looking at this guy with his normal constipated, confused look. But I think it was more genuine because Tucker was like, I'm not going with you down this rabbit hole. You're on your own, brother. So Tucker, was, no, I'm not having it.
If you just saw our Matt Gaetz interview, that was one of the weirdest interviews I've ever conducted. That story just appeared in the news a couple of hours ago. And on the certainty that there's always more than you read in the newspaper, we immediately called Matt Gaetz and asked him to come on and tell us more.
And he backed out. And even at the end of the interview, Tucker was like, I have no idea what the hell just happened. Now, coming from a man who can lie about and spin anything, for Tucker to say, I have nothing, and he had nothing, is just speaks volumes. Because even a piece of crap like Tucker can sit and say, yeah, you should have shut the hell up, and you're screwed. And I think Matt Gaetz is pretty much screwed. But here goes something a little different. Now, indulge me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do like to point out things that I see and notice. Matt Gaetz, representative from Florida. Sex trafficking of a minor. Jeffrey Epstein, billionaire, Florida, you know, hangs himself. Sex trafficking of minors. Ghislaine Maxwell, sitting in jail right now, getting ready to go to trial. For what? Sex trafficking in minors. Donald Trump lives in Florida. Has been fingered by females, underage females, sex trafficking minors. I'm not saying that any of this at all is connected in any way. And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it looks pretty damn suspicious that it's all the same. You know, it's Florida, it's young females, underage females, sex, money, flights, hotels, gifts, and it just, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, there's a fire, but there's a lot of smoke, a whole bunch of smoke right now in Florida and soon to be around Matt Gaetz' house. So, be that as it may, that's just my 2 cents on the whole thing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me once again. I heard some of you did like the video that I posted last night. I thought it was kind of fun. I had a great time doing it. You guys are welcome. Don't forget, COVID is still a thing. Please be safe out there. Take care of yourselves. All the other good things that I say about COVID every time, because I care about you. Even if I don't agree with you, I still care about you guys. And I don't want you to get sick, or you or your loved ones to get sick, or anyone to die. Because I think over 500,000 people is 500,000 people too many. So take care of yourselves. Also, please don't forget to be the best heathens that you can be. And have a great evening.